Justice for all. So, in some discussion on this, in order to run a more efficient and orderly meeting, starting in April, our monthly meeting format is going to change slightly. After the Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to add approval of the agenda. Under this section, emergency items that come up might be added at the discretion of the chair, might be added to the agenda at the discretion of the chair. But regular items will remain the same. They're due Friday at noon before Monday's meeting. And if you want on the agenda a description or explanation of an agenda item is required to be provided. Okay? And then as far as our meetings go, public input will be per agenda item. I mean, if you want to comment on an agenda item, that's great. You know, but that's where we're limiting public input. And then also any items or issues that require a vote by the commission will need to be on the agenda. They need to be an agenda item. You know, we can't bring it up in our portfolio and vote on it. It has to be an agenda item. So that's just so everybody knows.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we got approval of the February 13th meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Additions or corrections, questions? Tim?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Approval of the February 17th special meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Discussion, questions? Tim?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, year-end financials. Everybody have a chance to review those? Questions on the financials? Do we have a motion?
I move to accept them.
Second. Okay, Tim?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And then, approval of the February financials. Everybody have a chance to review those?
I move to accept the February financials.
Second. Discussion, Tim?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, first up, Washburn Ambulance.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
We have special people sometimes that are that have served the Washburn Ambulance or have been members for a long time, and we have voted to call those people honorary members. And we would like to present the honorary member plaque to Tim Doctor.
Oh, great.
Got the wheels going around.
You did.
Congratulations. Speech.
Tim just took care of our ambulance for a long, long time,
Thanks,
and like you
Richard.
said,
Thanks, Doc.
kept the wheels running, and when I would call over and say it's making this noise, he would seem to know what that was.
Very good.
So, anyway,
Well,
thank you very much.
I'm very humbled. Thank you.
All right,
Didn't
thank you
expect
very
that.
much.
Thanks, Mary.
That was great.
Don't hate me.
Congratulations, Tim. Waiver of fees for both days.
Same as usual, they just want to haul in case of inclement weather, and they'll move a street dance in there, and that's where they like to put the kids' games in case it's windy, and their prizes and stuff, so.
And this
Mainly.
is June 8th to the 11th?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
This is all in order, correct?
yes.
I will so move. Second.
Discussion? Tim?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Asphalt repair. Katrina, I don't know if she's here, but you're here representing, so.
Yeah.
This is John, you said, right?
Yep, I'm
Grab a
here
chair.
whenever you're dead.
Yeah, grab a chair. Come on, grab a chair.
And, they had some pretty serious sewer repairs done here in January, February. And, I don't have, she made a sheet, I don't have the sheet here, but I can wing part of that.
Okay.
It was pretty expensive. Part of the expense was, we were getting into the street, we had to go to the main. And, part of the problem was they spent a lot of time looking for the outlet, and the city doesn't have no notification, we have no idea where the outlet went. It broke under their house, so they traced it to the break, but then there was no, you couldn't flush out and find. And, so the problem is, we don't know that we'd have had to go into the street, but without knowing anything, I mean, you start digging up everybody's yard till you find it. And I guess what the request is, they'd like some help paying for the street repair. The gravel they had to put in there, and then maybe the asphalt repair. The excavating and all that, I mean, that was just a project they had to do.
I think the city supplied
The gravel.
the top 2 feet of gravel.
The top 2 feet is all.
I believe we did, yeah.
Because I know they had, and she'd have it on that sheet, that was about a $700 worth of gravel that
Yeah.
they had. And then, I don't assume any asphalt repair's been assessed yet because of,
Oh, yeah, that, we
you
won't know
know,
what
just
that is.
whatever. And I guess what we're asking for is if the city would help with them repairs. Because it's, I mean, it was about 35 grand to get this done.
I know it was
And
expensive.
They're pretty young, they don't have that kind of money either, that was the scramble, but it's fixed now, hopefully it's working, so, but they did have to dig through and tie into the street.
And everything was frozen and, you know.
Oh yeah, January, February is a great time to have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be opposed to helping a little bit with the
Yeah.
asphalt.
So if the city go, when we do patching, you know, our guys go around and dig out the hole and prepare it, you know, anyway, so if we're gonna do that anyway, if we would go half on the asphalt, is that helpful for you, or?
Well, I mean, and I guess for them, anything they could do would help. I just, you know, the point is, I kind of figured that the city should have some idea where this stuff's at, because we don't even know that we'd had to go into the street. At this point, we have no idea where that outlet goes.
Yeah, it's the older section of town. I mean, you know, the newer sections, we've got maps and all that stuff, you know. Yeah.
I mean, it was he thought he was gonna go into cast iron pipe, it was a plastic pipe he went into, but I mean.
And that really surprised me. When they got down there, I went and looked at it. I was flabbergasted that it was PVC pipe. I had no idea that it had been placed.
You know, and I guess going into the street probably versus everything they did is a small portion of the cost, but when it comes to that, then you think they could. So, but how, you know, and that's the one thing they never got to quote, you know, what is a repair bill, what would that be?
Well, the thing is, if you fix it when somebody's actually in town doing a project, it's way cheaper than hiring, like, say, an outfit to come out of Bismarck. and do
Right.
it. I mean, it's not even close,
Yeah.
you know.
But I mean, like, you know, when he proposed paying for half the asphalt, and we have no idea what that asphalt's even gonna cost
Right.
yet, you know?
Yeah.
No, I guess I was just, throwing that out there.
Well, I mean, and like I said, I think, you know, we probably accept anything we get, we're trying to help, I just, you know, I'm thinking, because we don't know if we had to do that.
I think he's figuring something out over there.
How many square feet is that?
If, one other question I have, maybe that it would add to this.
Ballpark, just a maybe second. 200
square feet maybe.
Maybe 200, yeah. It's not that big.
And, yeah, so, I don't know what the current price for asphalt is on our project, which. probably tell you.
38 a square yard, so if you said 200 square feet.
Yeah, and then it'd be 6 inches deep, probably.
So, yeah. And that's just the asphalt, it'd be like $850,
Right.
for just the asphalt.
Right.
If you get the prices at Bechtold, which the contractor had some really good prices on his project. So,
They've been pretty good to us.
and Bechtold has been good to the city in my time, and I know that for you, Larry, you know that they've been good too.
I do, yeah. A lot of history with them.
And then prepping it won't be an issue either.
Well, prepping it, we do all that anyway, so.
Yeah, I guess it'd probably be good just to get more information before we make like a final decision. Like, definitely, I mean, we see where you guys are coming from, and not a good situation, for sure, and.
Well, one other question I got, that could pertain to this and for any future. So, say the pipe when it broke from somewhere in the street, you know, in their line, who's responsible for that from the main to their property? Do they own-
Generally, from the main to the curb is the city responsibility. But in this case, you know, instead of finding that line, you know, and then determining that, you know, you guys, or they made the decision to put in their own line, which, you know,
I guess the argument I have on that
Yeah.
one, do we just start with a backhoe and start tearing up yards till we find it? I mean, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, cause I mean, even to find it, you know, they said it could be tied into neighbors or two different
Yeah.
neighbors or.
Come on in, sit down.
Hey there.
You know,
Right.
that's kind of my deal, and that's, you know,
Yeah.
kind of where I push for the help with it. I
Okay, I
don't know
see.
that we'd want to be responsible for the street.
Yeah, I see your point there.
Yeah.
The point is waiting for more information, we wouldn't have that
Do
information.
you have that
percentage of all?
Well, when, you know, that's all
The
fair,
prices,
so.
that's true, right.
50%
But
is
even, this is kind of a public information. Just
Oh,
a
I
little
see,
bit-
oh, I
little
see,
bit more,
okay, a
yeah.
little more of this
Yeah.
information, okay, I see. I'm sorry.
Well, this is only gotta be part of it though, Strata 6.
That's the gravel.
Well, that's the
29.
gravel. So, 29. Oh, yeah, your first 5,000 wasn't on there. That was all this stuff they did before. She might not have many copies of that, but that's, I mean, and I guess I don't know what other information you want, that's what she cost. The gravel is on there, which is probably the only thing on there pertaining to the street. The excavating, I mean, he didn't separate that from it, it is what it is. I mean, their bill was big enough, and I guess I'm not asking for more
Right.
than that. Just-
Sure. Yeah, this is just some more information. It's just exactly like this. It's
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I guess that's, I mean, if the typical thing is from the curb in would be the city's problem, I guess that part of it, how's the guy?
Well, the only thing is, you know, if it would have been the actual existing line that was being worked on, that would be another story.
We don't know if that was the problem, though, what was under the street.
Well, I think you,
It wasn't the problem.
Okay.
That wasn't the problem,
yeah,
but we got to the problem, and then he spent a lot of time trying to find the outlet so he could back snake it and locate it.
right, right.
And it was almost
You know,
easier
so,
to dig it
so
up.
you're a month and a half without a sewer, they didn't live in their house, you make the decision to go to the street, I mean, and it's kinda, you know, should we ask you guys and come in and done this too? It was kind of a time deal. That was a month and a half they weren't in their house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It's-
and that's the only reason I went to the street, you know, because he said he could bore stuff. He was looking for the outlet because he said if that one looked a little goofy, he could align that.
Yeah,
But they don't, you know, is it tied into the neighbors? Now there was talk there could be into two different neighbors down the street.
right.
So to find it, you just got to start digging. Well, how do you dig up neighbors' yards and?
Oh, sure.
you
So,
know?
so generally what we, you know, is if the city's gonna pay, and what our policy has been is, you know, you need to come to us first, and then say, hey, I'm gonna do this, you know, can you help me out with this? And in this case, I don't think that happened. But I mean, I realize the huge bill that you incurred. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed, I'm not saying for sure, but I wouldn't be opposed to, you know, at least paying for the asphalt. I mean, if it's like, you know, $850, it would help you out a little bit. I mean, I know that huge expense that you're going through.
I mean, and that would be, I mean, are they still gonna incur labor costs or that asphalt that's doing it and everything?
That's late, right. That would be us preparing the hole and the asphalt laid.
Putting the asphalt in.
Should we just take care of it from here on out, just take care of the asphalt and everything? 'Cause, I mean,
That's what I'm saying, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
opposed to that.
Yeah. And that's what you were looking for, was for asphalt, correct?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I guess I was looking, you know, maybe some of the gravel in there too, but it's here or there, it's,
Well, I know we did put, you know, first the top 2 feet.
Yeah.
Because some of that's gonna come back out, and
yeah.
so.
Well, yeah, 'cause I think Matt had said that day too,
Yeah.
that the top layer they were gonna do. 'Cause they had found some cheaper, but that wasn't, you know, that was a problem. I think that's when I called you that day.
Yeah,
It was, you know, found the gravel, that's not suitable. So, well, if it's not suitable, find the gravel, you know, so tempers were a little bit, you know, kinda tired of this project
Yeah.
already.
Right, after a
You
month
know,
and a
so
half.
we're out searching for gravel that's suitable, then you check, you know,
yeah.
so, I mean, that's where I was at with that.
I was very happy with the job that the excavator did too. I mean, it looked like he did a really good job.
Well, I would move that we would honor their request and that we would pay for the asphalt, you know,
Asphalt repair.
asphalt repair. So that was what your request was, correct? Yeah.
Suitable with you?
Yeah, okay.
Second.
Yep.
Further discussion? Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. And that won't be done till probably this fall.
Right.
That's when you usually do
Yeah.
asphalt repairs.
So, I mean, there's nothing else then with them, because that, you guys will just take care of it.
Yeah,
so
he
there's-
had some chance to settle and stuff, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I
Right.
said, our guys will prepare the whole
Mhm.
and then the patchwork will be done.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Washburn Life, Dog Park. Michelle, come on up.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
I've been talking and I came to find that the dog park is on city property. We do want to grow and expand it. So I'm trying to figure out where you guys are at, because I would like to have a small breed and a large breed dog cage and an introduction part to the front, no cost to you guys. We have called trainers, dog trainers, for personal pet housing or even for training, hunting, that are willing to come into town and give a little bit of their time. So we were hoping to kind of pivot off that, make it a fundraising day, turn it into licensing your, animals, that too, because I know that that's lacking. But before we did all those things and we actually were able to say, yeah, come down here, this is what we'd like to do, I just wanted to put it in front of you guys to see if that's something we can move forward on.
I think what I would like to see is what the footprint's gonna be, if we would have the information on, when you say expand, what the footprint's gonna be, how big it's gonna be, what your plans are for it. And then by about July 4th, when the snow's gone, then we could go down there and
Look at it?
and kind of take a look at it.
Okay.
Jamie and I are in building and grounds, and, just, we go down there so we don't foresee any issues in that property, but,
Yeah.
to just say, yes, I think we need to have more information exactly
On
what your guys' plan is for it, so.
Would you guys be opposed to working with us to strategically place the trees or the shrubbery or whatever you guys are interested in over there? I just want to know, I guess, that it's going to stay right there, so we can, if I'm going to get all this together for you guys, that it's going to be,
I know Bev's been in contact with me, 'cause she's on the tree board,
okay.
as far as,
She wants to plant her trees.
yeah,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Not only there, but other places in town too.
Yeah.
But she did visit with me briefly, I have to get back to her
Okay.
on, what she had in mind, but it would be best to incorporate it all into a plan
I'd like that.
instead of, okay, this fence is in the wrong place, now what do we do? Kind of
Yeah.
thing,
But there's a potential there if we could all work together and improve it together, hopefully.
So, but yeah, I guess without seeing, I can't.
What we're
say
looking
it.
at
Yeah,
exactly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you could.
Measurements and stuff?
Yeah, put something together, what you got, and if you need to wait till the snow's gone, then,
Well, I just want to start getting, you know how it is, when you start
Yeah.
to get, something going, and it takes
Yeah.
a little bit of
Yeah.
notice for everybody to get there,
right,
so.
yeah. I appreciate it, I just can't say yes or no without knowing what I'm saying yes or no to.
I can come back with measurements.
Right, I think a picture of,
Yep,
on a
Yeah.
overlay or whatever,
Yeah.
what you're thinking.
and,
Okay.
and maybe pull up a GIS so we know exactly where it sits.
Okay.
Because there's a street that goes through there, which of course isn't used, and then the property behind the elevator is not ours.
Okay.
That
Right
belongs-
behind the elevator,
Yeah,
correct.
that belongs to the railroad, so.
Okay. Yes, I can do that,
Okay,
absolutely.
yeah, all
Perfect.
right, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Yep.
So, quick claim deed for Beeler. So, they have, what happened is, Aaron Hummert, who is, surveyor, has done a lot of work in town. When he surveyed for Mr. Beeler, he kind of went, Washburn's kind of screwed up in that area. That's kind of like where the body shop is, kind of down that area and stuff, and he went, he said, where are we at? I went according to lot at the time. He went with original plat. I relied on the graphical analysis of the plat and accepted that as correct. However, in completing the survey, like for the rest of the area down there, he found out that there was some encroachment on that lot. So the simplest way would be if the city's willing to quitclaim the overlap. And I don't know if everybody has that map. It's just that tiny, tiny little spot right there. And
And
I think
Aaron was gonna pay all the expenses.
Aaron was gonna pay the expense, so I think it makes sense
Yeah.
that we would quick claim that portion for $50, just like we
Yeah.
did, the other 2 times. And,
'Cause it's
that way
no-
they can get it done.
It's
And
basically a few feet is all it is that he's off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, apparently it had something to do with the original, when they did the Tewksbury edition, that's where it kinda got screwed up, so. So I would move that we, you do a quick lane deed for the overlap for $50 with, Aaron covering all the expenses.
Second?
Discussion? Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, plat submission, Farm Credit Services. We had a public hearing on it's the replat, it's up by, the credit union up there along Border Lane. There was a public hearing, there was no issues, no comments, so they approved or they recommended approval of the plat as submitted. So I will make the motion to approve the plat submission for Farm Credit Services.
Second?
Discussion? Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Tower inspections. Adam,
Adam.
come on up.
Okay, in front of you should have a quote for inspection of the water towers and the reservoir next to the water treatment plant. They strongly recommend we do it every 5 years. I believe on the north tower we're at 6, the Senex tower we're at 8. The reservoir hasn't been done since it was redone in 2010. The quotes from KLM Engineering, who we have used since, I think, forever. If there is any interest in getting another quote, there are some other companies you could look at, but since we pretty much always use these guys, I just asked them.
Plus they have our records.
They have all our records, yep. And what they do is they'll come up with a aquatic drone, and they'll take video and pictures of the inside of the towers or a reservoir, and it'll show us points that need improvement, if it needs cleaning, and that sort of thing, and then we'll go from there once we have that information. I think the price is pretty good, but there's 2 different numbers on there. One is just for the reservoir, and I believe that's, I don't have it in front of me, 4,000?
4,000 for the reservoir.
And then the other one's for the reservoir plus the 3 towers.
Yeah, that's for all of them?
Yes.
Oh.
And that one's,
that's 13,200.
yep.
Why wouldn't we do them all at the same time?
And, yeah, I think if the price isn't that bad, and if any maintenance needs to be done, then we can probably pace it out over time. But just getting those inspections done, I think, is important.
So this is 2 towers or all 3 of the towers?
All 3 plus the reservoir that is
Okay.
next to the water treatment plant.
Okay.
Yep.
So after you clean it, you have to drain the tower again?
They'll drain it, then clean it, if we need to do that. But the inspection will let us know if it's at that level or not.
So it's out, there's rust and all that other stuff. and
Yep.
Everything else.
They're constantly underwater, so.
I don't think that's a bad price. I mean,
No.
it needs to be done as part of maintenance,
Cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, did they say, like, they do this in the summer, I'm guessing, or?
Yep.
Okay.
No exact timetable, but once we give them the okay, we'll get on their schedule.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Well, I would move that we would go ahead and hire KLM to do our inspections.
Second.
For the price that is there.
For the option 2, the 13.
Option 2, correct, thank you. To do them all.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? Tim?
Yes.
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 And you'll go ahead and contact them?
I'll let 'em know.
after that. Okay, thanks, Adam.
Okay, if we need to sign something, let me know. Okay. Thank you. Special Assessment Committee, Chelsea?
Our special assessment committee that we currently had has expired with all of them. 1 term expired, 2 of them have passed away. So we're going to need to start looking, I'd like to advertise that. The sooner the better, that way at least we can get the letters of interest and at least get the committee formed so that it's ready to go when we're going to proceed with
Okay.
specialing out the project. and it's Bings, we're pretty much getting a whole new committee. It'll be a 2-year term, a 4-year term, and a 6-year term, 3 people.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, we need to start advertising
Yep.
for that, so.
You need a motion for that, correct?
I don't know if we do. You can.
I mean, if we don't need it.
I don't
fine.
think we need it.
Yeah,
I
just
mean-
direct you to do it. so,
Okay,
Yep,
I'll get it in the paper.
yep, sounds good.
We can do I suppose, social media, whatever, and then the leader, are we doing the extra too or not? The thing is, not everybody gets the leader, but everybody gets the extra, so I don't know.
And the ad should now be in the extra. Apparently, there was a miscommunication with the email.
I checked.
Or it was just overlooked from the leader, so
Yeah,
Dawn did get back to me on that, so it should be in the extra now, but
I think we should put it in the extra
Okay.
also, I mean, because everybody gets the extra.
Yep. Okay.
I imagine run it for a month at least, I suppose.
extend it if needed.
Extended meeting, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, summer help.
Keith, you wanna handle that?
Sure. We met with Hunter, great kid, he's worked with Zach over at Cross Ranch, knew the equipment, that sort of thing. The only small thing was that he wouldn't be able to do the full time because he's going to lineman school, so it'd be the end of the summer. We basically offered him the job.
Yep.
But we need to just approve it here.
Right.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our recommendation as HR would be to approve him. He's very personable, very knowledgeable, and has already worked with who would be somewhat,
Didn't we offer him?
supervising or whatever, so, yeah,
Correct.
that'd be a recommendation.
Yeah, and just if I can add, we offered him $18 an hour to start, and then things go well, 19 the second month, so.
Okay.
That's what we'd offered him, so.
So we need a motion.
Yeah, so we would get July and August, so, and one more thing is that we kept the ad open, hoping that we can add a second person, especially to fill in the early part of the summer, so.
Perfect.
Okay, so I would so move that we would hire him.
Second.
Further discussion? Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Award bid, 2023 street improvement project. Come on up.
All right. Well, good evening. I think, well, at least most of you guys have known Abby, but two new guys here. Abby was here last summer, probably right before you guys started, but this is Abby Ritz. She's from our Nexus group. She's helped a lot with the financial planning and grants and getting loans and funding for the city. So that's who she is. So she's a good, bright face here to be in front of you guys besides me all the time. So yeah, so just want to give you guys an update on how things went. First, I guess since we have that on the agenda for the awarding the bid, I'll start on that.
Okay.
So there's only 2 bids. That was the bad news, but the good news is they were really good bids.
Yep.
I was surprised on how good they were. I expected them to be better than the estimate. I didn't expect them to be that much better than the estimate, so that's great news. So I hope everyone else has taken that in as well as a good thing, and it'll make the special assessment committee's job a little bit easier having a more affordable project. So that's good. But we had 2 bids, one from Bechtold Paving, who the city has worked with in the past, and another one from Strata, which I'm not sure that the city has worked with them yet, but they're both reputable contractors. And like I say, the first one from Bechtold came in at 1.9 million. Strata was just a hair under 2 million. And with them both being reputable, my recommendation, as I had sent in my letter, my award recommendation letter, is for the project to be awarded to Bechtold. I believe that David had sent over the resolution as well to award so the resolution, I think, talks about accepting the bids and then awarding the contract.
I haven't read the resolution yet, I haven't had a
Okay.
chance.
Is that something that we wanted on this item that you want to do?
Yes.
For the resolution?
I believe there is.
And then besides the resolution, so we need the motion to pass that. And then I also have the recommendation, or not the recommendation, but the notice of award. And there's 3 of those, because those are part of the contract documents that go. we send the notice of award to the contractor, so that they've been officially informed, and they'll also get the agreements with that, and they would do their portion of executing that agreement and send them back to us for the city to sign. That's how we do that portion of it. So if you guys have any questions of me about the bid or the contractor, now's the time. If not, I recommend awarding the project to Bechtold Paving.
So the basic estimate for the construction was $2,435 roughly, and then, or $2,435,000. And the bid came in at $1,901,000.
Yes.
Wow, I mean,
So it's about 500,000 under, and here's where, because on the way, I was talking with Abby a little bit about it, and I think I mentioned it to Larry and Keith when you guys were there for the bid opening. The price for the paving per square yard, I don't know that I've seen that in 10 years. Their price is for $38 a square yard. That hasn't, even in the project that I mentioned to you guys, that was the month before on the bid opening, I was surprised, and I, adjusted my estimate with that, but it still was even much lower than that,
Yeah.
$38 a square yard. I mean, in 2016, we didn't have prices at $38 a square yard. Also, their gravel price for 8 inches of Class 5 gravel, they came in at $16 a square yard. That's also a very good price. I was much higher than that. I was in the upper 20s on my estimate. So just looking at the gravel price and the paving price, that's where the difference was on my cost estimate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything else is pretty close, but I don't know what Bechtold knows that I don't know, but they must have some good material that's close by, or they had another project that's close by, could be the potential reason. And they have a plant and their equipment that's really close to here, then maybe that's why they have the cost savings there to bid that low. But we know they do good work. They paved in 2016, and all the streets, to my knowledge, have held up pretty well as well.
Yes, they are very good.
Yeah.
They, like I said, they've worked for us for decades, so,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, any questions on this before we read the resolution of awarding the contract?
So 2,500,000 to 2 million is about a 20%, right?
2,500,000 to 2 million. Yeah, it was about 500K.
20% less than what?
20% less than what I thought.
Yeah.
But again, and oil, we knew oil was high, right?
Yeah.
And then it came down. But even with that coming down, I still don't know how they're that low on their price, but they are. So it's great timing for the city, and we knew we wanted to time this bid opening around this time, because you're going to get contractors that might not be as busy and maybe are more hungry, but again, it's great for the city.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay, any other questions? No. Okay, resolution awarding contract for the Washburn Street Improvement District number 2022-1, be it resolved by the City Commission of City of Washburn, North Dakota, that pursuant to advertisement published once each week for 3 consecutive weeks for the construction of the improvement benefiting Washburn Street Improvement District number 2022-1 were opened and entered upon the minutes of the meeting of the City of Washburn on March 13th, 2023, and the Commission has obtained from the engineer a careful and detailed statement of the estimated cost of the work under the terms of each bid, that the lowest responsible bidder upon the basis of cash payment for work is determined to be Bechtold Paving, Inc. of 5140 Highway 2 East, Minot, North Dakota, 58701, under the basis of whose bid with all alternates as recommended by the engineer and approved by the commission. The cost of construction is estimated to be $1,901,642.10 and conditioned otherwise as provided by North Dakota Century Code sections 40-22-35 through 40-22-37 shall be executed on the part of the bidder on a contractor's bond in the sum of equal to the amount that the contracts and condition as required by North Dakota Century Code sections 48-02-06.2 shall be executed by the bidders and by a surety company authorized to do business in North Dakota, and that the contract for the improvements are awarded to said bidder and shall be executed on the part of the city by the president and city auditor, and the corporate seal of the city shall be affixed thereto, and the contractor's bid bond shall be filed in the office of the city auditor, City of Washburn, by Larry Thomas, President, City Commission, attest, Chelsea Brandt, City Auditor. Need a motion to...
After all that work, Larry, I'll make a motion that we accept that.
Thank you, I come out of it.
Second.
Any discussion? Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes, cool. All right. So, that is what, okay, that was on the street project.
That was a street project.
Now, since you are next on the agenda, we will go to the A2SFA.
Sounds great, and we'll start with Abby on the FEMA grant reimbursement request update.
Sure. So we have collected all of the invoices and check stubs from Chelsea and submitted all the costs, engineering costs for the intake project to date. FEMA has approved the request. They are kind of waiting for final feedback from their regional office. There's been a little bit of back and forth between State Water Commission and FEMA. State Water Commission, how do I want to say it? It has been, they're a little concerned. They want the city to have some skin in the game, and so there's a little bit of back and forth between FEMA, because FEMA was more than happy to cover the full 35% local share. State Water Commission wants the city to have some skin in the game. So at this stage, DES, FEMA has kind of gone to bat for the city and is trying to work with the State Water Commission. They have submitted all of your invoices for a 75% reimbursement from FEMA. And then State Water Commission will fund 65% of the remaining 35%. That results in the city paying about 8.5% cost share for all of the costs. So in the end, you will still get some funding. Chelsea will then have to write a check to State Water Commission to reimburse a little bit. But,
How much do you think we're looking at, dollar-wise?
Well, let me think here. It was 710, I think, roughly.
710,000 of total expenses of the
Yep.
intake project, and then if they're going to be paying roughly 8.5% of that.
Correct.
So 710 times 0.5. So about $60,000 is what the city would probably pay toward back to the State Water Commission.
We'd be getting back like 200.
But you'll be getting back nearly 200. Well, you'll be getting back about 250,000,
Right.
but then paying back in about 60,000, I think, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. And the FEMA guys are going to work directly with State Water Commission to hammer it all out. They said they'll work it out and let us know what they, they'll get everything done on the back end, so we just kind of get a number at the end.
And to step back a little bit to explain State Water Commission's position. So State Water Commission's policy is that if they enter into an agreement with anybody in the state to do a water project, and that entity has other funding available, other grant funding available, that the state's position is that that funding always pays first and off the top. So that would be the FEMA money.
Right.
And then the State Water Commission would then pay 65%, 35%. In the case of Washburn's agreement with them is a 65-35 grant match. They would pay the 65% on the remaining after the initial funding was paid. So State Water Commission has a little bit of heartburn about the city submitting on the full cost of 75% cost share after the State Water Commission's already paid funds. Because way back when we first started the work on the intake project, we didn't have the FEMA funds, and we were going to wait to use those FEMA funds until actually we did construction. And because we didn't do construction on it, that's why we're trying to make use of this FEMA grant before it goes away, because the FEMA grant has been extended twice, and it's good until the 22nd of March of this month. So it's good for another week or so. So that's why we went ahead and did the reimbursement request. And part of it is there's definitely a lot of politics involved. I'm gonna be very honest. And them following policy and their policy that they have. So it's definitely something that can be debated, but at the end of the day, the funding agencies want to make sure that they're being cohesive and working together. And as much as I would like to give the city all of the funds back for the FEMA dollars to cover all the expenses,
Mhm.
that's something that they're not quite agreeing on, but it still is much better than what it would be
Right.
if we just had to turn the whole grant back.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
The old saying is better than nothing, right?
yeah.
That works
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Does our cost for the whole project stay about the same then?
For the cost for the whole project, for what you paid into it,
Yeah.
you're gonna be, the city will gain about $200,000, I'm thinking, through this deal. So you'll get about 250 to 260,000, because that's what's not been reimbursed so far. You'll get that back, and then the city would have to pay back into the State Water Commission about $60,000, it sounds like, if it's at 8.5%. So
Still not bad, though.
That's really, I mean, that's really good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting 200,000 out of it at the end of the day, that's good. And nearly recover the cost of almost everything the city paid.
That we paid in already.
I mean,
Right,
plus
exactly.
we got the land across the river, which is
Yeah.
another good thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah. I was
So
gonna say
we're
that, but yeah.
doing good there. Or that, you probably call it even that with that, and matter of fact, you probably could, the land's probably worth more than that 60,000.
Right.
Yep.
But,
And we're still up in the air on what we're gonna do, but
Yep.
yeah,
anyway, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thanks, Abby.
Any questions on that? Okay.
The next thing that we had on the list that I sent out was the River Valley Water Supply project update, and I don't particularly have anything to share at this time, other than I know that the city's been in touch with the LAWA, Lake Agassiz Water Association, what is what they are, and talking with them, and we'll just see how their project continues. I know that the legislature is going through some appropriations of funds for their next phases of work on that project as well, which that project has many different phases and many different parts. So I know the city's interested mainly on the intake that's currently built just south of town here, and if there would be a pipeline constructed between here and there as an alternate water supply for the
Is
city.
that project still on then for the state to go east with that pipeline?
It is definitely still on, yes. Yep, it's just a matter of what funding they get in this next round of the legislative session. So they built the intake on the river, they built the discharge structure on the Cheyenne River just upstream from Lake Ashtabula, and they have some pipeline in the ground already, and they're going to build more pipeline as well,
So what's your take on it? Do you think the pipeline will go through then?
I mean, they got a lot of work ahead of them. I think from what I've heard in the news, and from people that are closer to the project, that they have about anywhere from 6 to 10 years of construction ahead of them just to put that pipeline in the ground, because it's quite a bit of pipeline. So, and it's a big pipeline, so it's not like putting in a 2 or 4 inch roll water pipe. It's a large pipe.
Just a quick update on that. Tim Mahoney, the mayor of Fargo, was up there. He's president of the Lake Agassiz Authority, right?
Yeah, I believe he's the president, the chair of that.
So he was up here and, he talked about, Washburn not being able to afford the actual cost of, what was presented to us. And he said, maybe we can look at possibly coming up with some different way of funding, okay? We said, well, we'll look into it. We'll get back to you sometime, after we do a little more research. Also, last week, was it Thursday? Yeah, I was down at the legislature testifying on the intake project south of town. And in a nutshell, I told them, I said, it's not our first choice to go with them, because of the different things, more than likely, we didn't want to own a 7 or 8 mile pipeline or a pump station out there. And, we don't know the longevity of that out there, even if it's going to survive. So I told them that we didn't actually say, no, we're never going with that, but it's not our first choice. So they said, thank you. That was it. So.
Any questions on the water supply projects? Okay. The other stuff we had to talk about was the bid opening, which we discussed that. You passed the resolution. I have the 3 notice of award documents that I had discussed already that Larry is gonna, would sign, and I will take those once he gets those signed at the end of the meeting, and get them to the contractor to do that portion of it, send those in the agreements, and I'll get those back to you guys, hopefully in some good time. And then Abby had an update on the BND.
Yeah, so Bank of North Dakota has already approved the loan application. So as far as financing goes, you guys are pretty much set. I believe Kylie with Bank of North Dakota has sent you an email with kind of the agreements. It was you and Scott Wagner, I believe. He is the bond counsel, the attorney to put all the debt documentation together for you to approve. We were thinking that the April council meeting might be a good time to get the bond documents approved. That way, by the time you are starting construction, the financing will be set in place. You can start getting reimbursed for those invoices. So tentatively, that's my plan for timing if April works for you guys.
I don't know why not.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you have?
That's it.
Any
Thank
questions?
you. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Portfolios? Tim?
Nope, things pending, but nothing for tonight.
Okay.
Just one quick thing with HR, if I can jump in, we did have a couple applicants, or one applicant for janitor, right?
Yes.
Right, so we'll be doing an interview on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't mean to steal your thunder there, Keith.
That's just fine.
Okay.
Jamie?
Yeah, no, just the only thing, if they're gonna redo that floor, maybe before they redo the floor, maybe look at, we had done some talks about maybe redo the motion sensors to maybe something else, or actually get them to where they can dim them if they wanna use them for like a dance or a wedding, so maybe.
Manual switches.
They could be on a manual switch.
Yeah, something.
I agree.
Before they, just so we can get in there and move around for the floor.
I think we need to look into that, yeah, absolutely, that's a very good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea to do it while the old floor is still in there before the new floor hits it, so.
Yeah, so you guys can kind of figure out
Yeah, we're
something and
working.
present it to the commission. so.
Yeah, work with Legion on that too, on that, so.
Perfect, good. Anything else?
I think that's what I got.
Yes, okay.
Thanks,
Keith?
Jamie. Thanks, Jamie.
Okay, 2 things with the library. Each year, we're supposed to give a report per century code of
Okay.
kind of metrics, numbers, that sort of thing. We're up in basically everything, like circulation for children's material, circulation for the public. Basically, long story short, a lot more people are using the library. So Candy and the staff there are doing an excellent job. If you want to see more detailed in the numbers, she has the previous year as well as the current year, kind of just a little friendly chart that looks like
Nice.
that. If anyone else wants to see that, she has it down there at the library for more specific numbers.
Okay.
And also a special meeting tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the library. The agenda is a board president debrief on previous board meetings from February 28th, board discussion of findings related to the ALA, public comment, and then the proposed bylaw changes. If anyone in the public would like to come, they're obviously welcome.
Okay, thanks. Done. I don't think I have anything. She's writing it, waiting. Chelsea?
To go to the library, I did contact a new restoration company this morning. I just can't hear back from that other one. I sent them the mold report that we got. He called me back at like 10 to 5. He does have a guy, I called Aero Service, and he has a guy going to Hazen on Wednesday, but then he's going to have him send him here. And he wants to go to the library because he said without looking at it or measuring it and seeing exactly, he doesn't know how to quote it out for us. So he's going to come on Wednesday and take a look at it and see if the fogging would work or kind of how they need to go ahead with that, and then he'll work on getting a quote sent out so we can move forward with that and hopefully get that done before they open up. Spring conference is next week, so I will be gone Tuesday and Wednesday at that. And then just the update on the state aid money, I was hoping to have that paid out and be done with today. But I got some more information on Friday, and I didn't have a chance to go through it that afternoon, so I'll get to that this week, with kind of the discrepancies on where they sit, and then look into those, and hopefully then by April we can proceed and get all that taken care of and get the check cut up, so.
Okay. Thanks for all your work on that, Chelsea, you and Erica.
Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Bills? Everybody have a chance to review the bills?
I motion to pay the bills.
Okay. Second it?
Discussion on the bills? Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Hey Larry,
Yeah.
Abby has one more thing that she wants to.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Well, I guess just wanted to throw this out there, given that your special assessment committee is going to be pretty much brand new. We're more than happy to help with the special assessment process. I know you said this will be your first round of special assessing.
Oh, yeah.
We can help with,
Property
developing the
assessment,
assessment
yeah.
rules and things like that.
Okay.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Now you sleep tonight, right?
And she's already been super helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, Abby's good.
She is.
So, next meeting, April 10th, 2023. Okay. The business meeting adjourned.
Our Board of Equalization meeting will be
Before that one.
before that.